I keep my promises, and I'm fighting for the American worker. And we're all fighting for the American worker. Everybody here is fighting for the American worker.
Labor rights are a key component of the newly ratified U.S. Mexico-Canada Agreement. How well those labor provisions will work depends in large part on how well they're enforced, particularly by the Mexican government.
Con la cooperación para el desarrollo,
Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador is in favor of improving the country's low labor standards. He's raised the country's low minimum wage and championed laws that improve workers' ability to organize. Those laws will help bring Mexico in line with the USMCA, which dictates reforms to overhaul Mexico's ineffectual labor unions. New enforcement provisions pushed by House Democrats could prevent producers who violate those reforms from exporting their goods to the U.S.
If it works over time, and it's not going to be quick, it will raise the wages of a lot of Mexican workers. So in that sense, it's all positive. And that's one area where he and Mr. Trump pretty much think alike, because right. Mr. Trump thinks if you raise Mexican wages, fewer people will move their factories or expand their factories in Mexico.
Mexico has already chafed a bit under the USMCA's new enforcement provisions. The country publicly objected to U.S. plans to station labor monitors in Mexico, only relenting after the U.S. promised the monitors wouldn't directly conduct inspections. The dust-up reflects an anxiety from Mexico about U.S. economic interference. If Mexico can't enforce its USMCA obligations, the U.S. could use the deal to impose a good amount of economic pain on the country.
There's a lot of potential, I think, for progress, and there's also a significant potential for this being used as a protectionist tool in the U.S. I don't think that is terribly likely, certainly not in the near future. It's a real question as to exactly how effectively the two governments and their labor departments can work together to make this whole thing work.
The USMCA still needs to be ratified by the Canadian Parliament before it goes into effect. Once that happens, the deal will define North American trade for at least the next 16 years.